How to stop overthinking. Overthinking is not as bad as we think it is. It could be useful if the thoughts are good, productive, and motivating. But at the same time, it can cause trouble when the thoughts are negative, delusional, and demotivating. So, thinking too much can be beneficial if it gives you some positive results. However, too much of negative thinking is what we want to control and avoid. How to stop overthinking, because overthinking generally leads to waste of time and energy. Overthinking means thinking too much. When we think too much, our minds tend to get exhausted and we end up doing nothing else but thinking. Too much of anything can be toxic. For example, if the doctor advises us to take a pill to get better out of our illness, and we start thinking that since this medicine is beneficial to me, I shall have the whole packet of pills to get completely cured in no time, that would be a foolish idea. The cure is gradually done, and so is almost everything else in this world. Success is also gradual. It needs small steps to be taken. Overthinking is when we think too much on something without attaining anything. So, how to stop overthinking? This is what this video is about. We are perpetual thinkers. Thinking can either be conscious, that is, with some efforts, or unconscious, that is, without even being aware of what you're thinking. We generate a lot of thoughts per day. But wait, hold on. What are these thoughts about? Are they helping you live the life you want to live, or are they making you feel less about yourself and the others? Today we find out how you can stop overthinking and finally get your mind on your side. For this, there are certain steps to be taken. Number 1. Awareness. You must actually become aware of what is going on inside your head, and that sounds simple enough, but many of us never even realize that there is some negative stuff happening out there, and instead we choose to act like everything is okay. Are you overthinking? Are you thinking negatively? Well, admit it, because otherwise you won't change a thing. Self-improvement begins with self-acceptance, when you actually make it clear to yourself that you don't like what's going on and you begin to be aware of it. Now you can start to make a real change. You can keep a thought journal, writing down your thoughts as they come up, at least the more noticeable ones, even if they are negative. It will help you start to get an overview of what's happening in your mind. And after this, it will become much easier to make the changes you want to make because you know what actually is going on. Number 2. Meditation. You should meditate because it will actually help you get what you want when you train your mind with a simple technique like focusing on your breathing for 10 minutes per day and pulling it back every time it gets distracted. In this way, you start to gain power over your mind. Understand also that if you do not train your mind, it is guaranteed to run wild on you like a crazy chimp. It will mess up your state of mind, and in the end, it will even mess up your life. So, control it. Use meditation because it works, and don't be discouraged if you can't seem to stay focused in the beginning. Simply stay disciplined and continue to practice. This is one of the best and most effective way to beat overthinking, and it will absolutely work for you as long as you stay with it. Number 3. Focus. Another way that you can train your mind quickly is by really focusing on daily tasks and activity that you are engaged in. Being fully present and aware of what you're doing and not getting caught up by the noise in your head. When you are walking outside, breathe the air and pay attention to your environment. Don't let yourself walk around unconsciously and get stuck in your own head. Even if you are doing something as simple as watching a video, actually watch the video and tune out the noise. Going on upstairs in the mind, we get so used to our daily activities after a while that you may notice you are thinking constantly. Chances are that if you have been doing it for a few years, an effect has really kicked in and you are just in a constant stream of thought. That's also why it is great to go and try new things, to do different activities that you have never done before, because it will force your mind to become present like the first time you are learning to drive a car or climbing a massive mountain. Because your mind will have to engage. That's really the key right there, forcing your mind to engage, because it usually will not engage on its own. Just because you want to be present doesn't mean that your mind is not going to engage in fruitless thoughts. Number 4. Separate yourself from your thoughts. You have to separate yourself from your thoughts. This goes hand in hand with training your mind. But the only time that our thoughts can do us any real harm is when we identify with them. When we begin to think what we are, the thought that the voice in your head is exactly that, a voice, you can control it. You can shape it, and when you begin to understand this, you gain massive power over it. You can use your thinking to help you be productive and get closer to your goals, but if you let it run on autopilot, it is very likely that your life won't turn out the way that you want it to. So it is very important to always steer your thought in the right direction, and that's why it is so important to actually know what's going on in your mind. And that's why self-awareness was the step 1 technique. When you're constantly redirecting and you really get into the habit of reshaping your thoughts and steering them in the direction that you want, you will actually feel like you are in control of what's going on, and before you know it, you are using your mind to get what you want instead of it using you to making you feel terrible about yourself and your struggle. Remember that overthinking, especially if it's negative, is actually a bad habit. So by implementing the keys that we have gone over, you'll be able to become aware of your thoughts, begin to control them, and also separate yourself from the non-stop stream that goes through your head. When you catch yourself overthinking, think about the time and energy you are wasting and about the opportunities you are letting disappear. You will need to learn to focus and calm your mind so that you can easily prevent it from revolving around the same thoughts over and over again. Cut out negative self-talk and look for ways to stay positive and self-encouraging. Everyone overthinks sometimes, but some people do it more frequently than others. Some of these individuals could have anxiety disorders, but not everyone does. How to stop overthinking so we don't become mental patients. The process of overthinking is not really clear to scientists, but it probably engages the same part that are involved in anxiety and fear. Overthinking is like a vacuum of some kind. It sucks you in. It removes us from active participation. The more we are engaged in overthinking, the less we are actually doing things in the physical environment. But it's possible to defeat this pattern of thinking and win your life back. Telling yourself to not have a certain thought is not the way to not have the thought. You need to replace the thought. Shut down overthinking by involving yourself in activity you enjoy. Learning some new kitchen skills by tackling a new recipe, going to your favorite workout class, taking up a new hobby such as painting, volunteering with a local organization. Think of ways you can be service to someone going through difficult time. Realizing you have the power to make someone's day better can help negative thoughts from taking over. It also gives you something productive to focus on instead of your ever-ending stream of thoughts. Sometimes quieting your thoughts requires stepping outside from your usual perspective. How you see the world is shaped by your life experiences, values, and assumptions. Imagining things from the different point of view can help you work through some of those noise. At times, you might go over the same thoughts repeatedly because you aren't taking any concrete actions about the certain situation. Can't stop thinking about someone you envy? Instead of having it ruin your day, let your feelings help you make better choices. Whether you just worry a little more than you'd like to, or you suffer from an anxiety disorder or depression, the strategies I discussed can help you reduce the overthinking that contributes to your symptoms of overthinking. Try them and learn how to stop overthinking. Like the video and subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again with another video.